Ladies and gentlemen, greetings. Welcome back to my channel, Flow State Enthusiasts. People who are obsessed with peak performance, you're in the right place at the right time. Let's go.
Yeah. I'm inspired. I'm inspired.
Hey there guys, how's it going? My name is Sumedh Chatterjee from the Flow Zone Academy, and I'm a flow state coach, which means that I help you feel better and perform better. Today we're talking all about neuroplasticity, okay? Neuroplasticity. The malleability of the brain. So the brain contains something called neurons, which are nerve cells, okay? The synapse part of the nerve cell is there to communicate and take in information. Every thought, every action, every emotion has thousands of neurons associated with it. They convert information into an electrical charge. This releases something called neurotransmitters, okay? So I'm just giving you a little bit of how the brain works, right? You might have heard this term, neurons that fire together, wire together. The more often that we think, do, or feel certain things, the neurons fire together. The stronger the synaptic connections become between those things. So that means repetition breeds a synaptic connection. As you're aware, flow state is when you get to a state of almost mastery within a specific task, where it feels effortless, where it feels easy to you. And that does take a bit of time before you keep practicing, right? You keep practicing, putting it out there, and eventually it's gonna click. So you want to get into this as young as possible. I know after a certain age, it is difficult to change the brain, okay? So there's gonna be a lot more difficulty for the synapses to fire in a very adult brain. It's very interesting because this concept has constantly, intrigued me. Even my book's title has the word plasticity in it, right? It's called Theatroplasticity, coming from the idea that theater can shape your mind, right? Acting can shape your reality around you. So if you're interested in a book, go check out that one, okay? Forget every other book! So adrenaline is a hormone that brings us in a state of attention. Some sort of internal energy is required for adrenaline to actually be released in our brains. So if you're practicing remaining focused, you'll get the adrenaline supporting that. Imagine you want to train your muscles, right? The more you train at the gym, the more it's going to grow. As soon as you stop training, your muscle mass is going to start to decrease, right? This is how we get thought habits or thought patterns, right? It's like we have an association with a specific topic, but that association is also all of those synaptic connections, you see? So maybe you got through a bad relationship or something like this. You might now carry forth the same synaptic connections. You're trying to go out there and date again, but the subconscious mind is almost pulling you back in a sense. Personality was seen as genetically determined, and there's a lot of, debate around whether we can change our personality. I'm in the belief that we can. There's an amazing book called Change Who You Are, and it's all about that kind of science. Best way to go about this would be to change your belief systems, okay? Change your limiting beliefs into empowering beliefs. This is almost creating a foundation for that change to take place. So where does flow state and neuroplasticity come in? Through mental strength training, okay, mental gymnastics, Tung Fu, you start understanding that you can change your old habits into newer ones, that you can stop a thought and slow down a thought based on your own level of mindfulness. Imagine you're immersed in your desired state. So you can close your eyes for this one. How does it feel? Where in the body do you notice these changes? You see, as we're visualizing, we're deepening the synaptic connections. So this is why it helps to visualize if you want to access the flow state. Because if you have a structure already, your mind is going to seek that pathway. Not only the neuronal pathway, but the pathway you set for it. Basically, you got to train your mental and emotional fitness, okay? Be able to become the pleasure alchemist, as we call it, taking anything that is negative, seems bad, and where can we see the beauty, the truth, the power within that? Yeah, that's my perspective about how it relates to flow state. I think that, as you start taking more action, you start forming new and fusing, new neuronal pathways, and the synapses, the connections between the synapses of that thing becomes stronger. So it's almost like, I imagine you're charging like an energy signature kind of diamond, right? Like a Vajra energy signature through all the actions that you want to take. So let's say that you want to do archery, but you haven't, thought about it yet or signed up for the classes or anything. What you want to do is you want to visualize yourself doing the archery and starting there, exploring that world, okay? So the neurons can support you, because you're adding emotion, you're adding thoughts, you're adding, feelings, you're adding actions, you're adding everything together to create this immersive experience. And that's where the flow state comes in. And that's how you can guide yourself towards the best actualized version of yourself through this process, because flow state is essentially ego death, and we need ego death to crumble ourselves down into that 0 point so that we can alter anything from the template version of us and truly get us to the version of ourselves that we truly prefer to be, and create the characters according to who we would like and want ourselves to be. So yeah, that's my process. I hope this makes sense. Thank you for asking the question. May the flow be with you and stay legendary. Let's get it, upward spiral gang.